Hey guys, Gundam 8 Chapter 3 in English just dropped. As you guys can see here, this is gonna be interesting. If you're expecting any major reveals or you're expecting a big fight, there's not gonna be any. Yeah, right off the bat. This is gonna be pretty much filler, and it looks like 4 is also gonna be filler too. So, as you guys can see here, they're in the Atlantis, of course, on the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. And of course, Gaffer there just giving orders, and basically they're gonna do a training exercise. So you guys can see here, and here's the actual cover of the thing. So pretty much they have them running around asteroids at full speed, pretty much, as you guys can see here, with all the lines telling you, hey, that's the speed they're going and everything, and they're, talking shit to each other. But Subaru, so you guys can see here, these two are just not doing the training. And I know what you're thinking, why are they doing the training? Well, we'll get to that pretty soon. But yeah, they're just there, and they're, talking about how, this operation is gonna be, this mission is gonna be taking decades. It's gonna be a long voyage. Children are gonna be born during that time. They have to be educated properly, and if they don't do that, then the project is doomed to fail. It looks like in this Gundam universe, there is no stasis sleep or anything like that, which makes sense. It's a little bit more realistic. So as you guys can see here, they're just talking about, hey, if these trainees had the same talent as you wouldn't be so tedious. But as you guys can see here, one of them actually does manage to crash against one of the asteroids because it was going too fast, way too fast. And you can see, dealing with the trainees, and she's also like, yeah, I can hear the both of you, and you guys can see that they're both getting along pretty darn well. And that is great because it tells you that they're not really rivals, they're just friends here, and that is very interesting. So they're talking about, geez, like, I can hear all of you, after training wraps up, and they're gonna start doing the combat training after that. As you guys can see, there are more 8s than just me and you guys, so that's where the 8s come in. That's the name of the 8s, as you guys can see here, is what the group of the name of the squadron, pretty much. As you guys can see, it has some really nice artwork, depicting the asteroids, how they do the motion. I like the effect parts that they have going here for the thrusters. Everything just looks so darn good. And even in motion, these suits still look good, even in motion, and they're pretty skinny, but still, they look great. You can see here how Matthias loses, Matthias actually beats him, it's really close, cut the crap and stuff. They're just talking shit. And Subaru is like, they're just watching. And check this out, the prodigy, right? He outscored Quincy in the aptitude assessments test. Millennia's younger brother. Yes, we get to see her younger brother. And like any sibling rivalry, well, she is putting some fuel on the fire. And here comes the simulated enemies, because that's what they are, the simulated enemies. So pretty much they come in, Subaru and Quincy are here, ready to kick ass, and as you guys can see, those two are absolute beasts. I couldn't land a single shot on them. They basically take out all the other ones. As you guys can see here, I got blown away in 5 seconds, so they're really going at it. And Matthias is just flying around, trying to beat Subaru. Well, It is revealed to be Subaru, but I know they don't make it clear. Like, this one has the 09 here. So, Subaru just flying around, just getting ready. And look at this. The Beam Saber is about to hit him in the head, but it just goes through him. Why? Because that's how they're using the Beam Sabers. These Beam Sabers are pretty much, it looks to be like holograms, honestly. It's not like, it's just probably just light. And that's why they can't damage each other. So yeah, Subaru has the number 9 there. Well, no, Subaru is not number 9. That's my mistake. Basically, what they're showing you is the speed. See? He was here, and now he's back here. And there you go. Now he does dodge it here. And boom! It's done. No injuries, no nothing. You guys can see he's like, unbelievable, holy crap, that was great. And you can see Subaru there. His training mech, of course. Well, pretty much, you know, there's a lot of talking here, there's a lot of filler. And Quincy disappeared. You know, Quincy's like, I'm out here. Because we got to know a little bit more Quincy. You know, we know that his sister, Nerissa, is not gonna be making the trip because she's too frail, you know, she's sick. So she's going back home, and Quincy is gonna go see her before she leaves because the Atlantis is also leaving pretty soon. So yeah, Super is like, oh, he should say something, you know. Maria is like, nah, you know, sometimes you have to be comfortable and stuff like that. And there's the spaceport, pretty much. And here is Quincy's mom. Here's Nerissa. You guys can see there, you know, she's happy that he can to see her off. And here you can see his dad. Huh? You see how they did diversity here without putting it in your face? You see that? How subtle that was? Pretty easy, no problem. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't have to be like, oh, give an explanation of his dad or his dad's backstory. You don't need that. All you get here is that he's a good brother, he's a good son, and his parents are good parents. That's all. That's all you get here. That's all you get here. Because pretty much this is their final goodbye, you know. This is their final goodbye. And Quincy is like, yeah, I'm not kid anymore. I can handle myself. And he's like, you know, and his mom's like, you're right. You're more than capable than anyone. And that's it. And then they go. After, you can see here, they gave each other a hug, and that's it. This Gundam series did a whole family dynamic just now that a lot of woke crap can do in 5 freaking movies or comic books. Like, bam, easy, pretty easy. And I gotta say, the way they drew this with the fire here and the ship launching is pretty cool. And Subaru is just sitting down eating here, and you can see the ship. And as you guys can see, he does have a visitor. And who is it? Federica! Yes, Federica is back here. As you guys can see, she has a cup of coffee, and she has a croissant right there. So pretty much, you know, they're talking, and he's like, where's Dean? And she's like, he's not here. And, you know, she tells him, really, don't remember me? And he's like, what? Yeah, because something happened. And as you guys can see here, it was probably during the worst period of your life. Does this ring any bells? Oh, a little purse. And he goes, money. Money, 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 money. get the money. And take one step closer, and this brat dies. And that's pretty much the final page that they leave us on. So yeah, it looks like obviously, yeah, Subaru's safer. Subaru's safer, and he just doesn't remember him saving her until now. But yeah, that's actually, still, this is filler, but it's good filler because you get to, get to know them a little bit more. How Quincy and Subaru are not really rivals, they're really friends. They get along. Quincy has a good relationship with his parents. They're not evil or anything like that. You get to see that Maria and Subaru have been together for a little bit more now. They seem a lot closer, obviously, and we're getting a little bit more backstory to Subaru's story, but still, I want to go back to the aliens. I want to go back to the aliens. We want to go back to the aliens. We want to go back to Gundam series or Celius, see what happens, but still, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good so far. Pretty darn good. So hopefully chapter 4, they do finish this part of the story fast. I hope they finish it fast. And then we move on to the next part, which was that terrorist group attacking the Atlantis. And hopefully, I think that's where we're gonna see the Gundam. Or Gundams, because there might be a few more of them. Honestly, it would be very interesting, because that's the thing. The last Gundam on Earth, there has to, if for you to say that, there had to be more, right? But man, again, good read. I suggest you go and read it, check it out. Obviously, buy it if you can buy it. But man, is pretty darn cool. Now, I do want to say is that I am playing Super Robot Wars Y on my channel. So if you guys want to go and check it out, go and check it out. It's been pretty darn fun. And something tells me we might get Gundam 8 DLC. We might get it. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, that does it for this review. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.